Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 2 in a best of 3, or not a best of 3. I don't even know what the series really is yet. I'll have to watch it with you guys to figure it out. Anyways, we have Fnatic Rain once again spawning as the green Terran player. Meanwhile, SC, this time around deciding to switch up colors on me. He did decide to be purple. So it looks like, yes, I will go ahead and fix this for you guys because I rarely ever get to show this off any longer. So there you go. SC is the purple Terran player. Forgot to add the T at the end of it. Let's do that. Anyways, this is going to be on Tal'Darim altars. So it's going to be a much longer game, I think. Now, Tal'Darim Altar is one of those maps. It is rather large. Terran versus Terran players in general don't like the map that all too much. A lot of players think that it favors much more macro style of play for Zerg or for Protoss. Terran players, on the other hand, don't have a natural ramp into their own base here, and it is a rather wide front door, so it does cause a little bit of problems for Terran players. But it has been part of this map pool for so long that most players are just accustomed to it, as well as we now see Rain opening up with the refinery first. So refinery first coming in from Rain. And we'll see if it does, that is successful at all. We are now getting that barracks as well. Normally, what a refinery first means is that you are able to then transition into this pretty easily, or transition into a factory very easily. As soon as your barracks is done, you should have about 100 gas, so you are able to get that factory down just ever so more quickly there. As you can now see, this one barracks about to be completed, and now SCVs jumping inside in order to just harvest more and more gas. So the barracks will have a little bit of a head start here, and SC may be able to get up one Marine, maybe two Marines, as we now see an SCV coming in from the north. Will it be able to spot in time is the key question. Is that SCV going to be able to spot it? Yes, and the two SCVs do temporarily kiss each other as they pass by and path across each other. You can now see a second barracks being brought into play. So this one SCV now going into a tech lab. So we may see Marauders and Marines. Meanwhile, we are going to be seeing Hellions. This one Marine needs to get trained up rather quickly and then perhaps try to shut down this SCV. Otherwise, the SCV is going to be able to take a look inside this base and take and see everything that it needs to see. The Marine now making its way over, going to let that SCV slip by. And wow, the factory is now in over here. There is one Marine. The Marine trying to get some decent shots off, and it is going to try to get off a little bit more damage. 2 more shots would be enough. No, that SCV able to escape at 3 hit points. Meanwhile, the scouting SCV of Rain was destroyed by this Marine. We are now going into Reapers by SC. So SC now going into a Reaper play, and this is going to be very interesting. And I believe he did cancel a barracks. Wow, as soon as that SCV was able to come by and get spotted, he then canceled a barracks. So now this perhaps one Reaper will be able to get off a decent amount of scouting information. This Reaper now making its way off. The Reaper does have 50 hit points. It does deal additional damage to light units. That means that it should be able to destroy, take on a Hellion, a one-on-one, as it does attack a little bit more quickly, as we are now adding on a tech lab, and we may be transitioning into Banshees. You can see that there is no easy way to connect through these two locations here. The only real way to connect is from this side over here. So it's gonna come down over here and then jump back up to the far side, activating this Naga Tower. What version of the map is this? This is the one that this is not the BattleNet version, so there are no destructible rocks here. Very interesting. I did not know that. I was pretty sure that there was actually a path to be able to walk in here. So a little bit unlucky by SC now, as SC now tries to come in with this one Reaper. Will it be enough? Going after those SCVs, and it looks like one SCV will get shot down. Another SCV may get shot down. It looks like 2 SCVs are going to get destroyed, and now that Reaper does get surrounded and destroyed there. So trading 1 Reaper for 2 SCVs, not that good of an exchange, as now you can see SC going into a much more bio play. We are getting up an orbital command as well over here, and it should allow for the additional calling down of mules. You can see this one SCV was down to 3 hit points. It was able to return home. We are now going into a factory. There are a couple Marines down here, but I believe this Banshee is going to get in a lot of damage. Oh no. I take it back. Without Cloak, that Banshee may not get the necessary damage. There are enough Marines. As you can see right here, there are 3 Marines already. More Marines are being trained, so five Marines should perhaps be able to shut this down. In comes this Banshee. Now the Banshee is revealed on the minimap. The Marines slowly making their way over. The Banshee trying to just maximize its damage already, trying to use that superior range, getting in a couple quick shots there, but the combat shield was researched first. So that is why the Marines are not going to get two-shotted. So very, very nice there. The Banshee now once again trying to engage the Banshee, doing a good job, but so far that Banshee pilot doesn't have a single kill as of yet. We are now taking into the Blue Flame research. We are now getting some siege tanks as well. We can see that there are currently 4 SCVs there. And now, do we have a command center? Yes, a command center should be brought over in just a moment, as it looks like that Banshee did get 1 kill so far, but hasn't really been able to do all too much, able to shut down one of those units finally, and now perhaps going to get off another Marine there, so finally using that superior range against those Marines, and now the Banshee is forced to return home. It does only have 8 hit points left. 1 more shot, 2 more shots from that Marine, and it would get taken down. We are now getting that stim pack research. We may add on a reactor and another tech lab. And as most Terran players like to do that, it allows them to double train up Marauders and still train up a decent number of Marines, as now the orbital command has been completed. It has a lot of energy on it, and now this may be a bit of a problem, as the Hellion's going to simply run by, get some damage onto an SCV. No, the Marines are going to perhaps try to engage, and now getting even more line of fire there, shutting down some of those Marines, and now inside the 1 bunker it goes. So these Hellions gonna sit here. The Blue Flame research has been completed. 24 damage against all of those light units, but now with a bunker in that front position, and now also a Marauder. How much damage will really be dealt? You can see that Blue Flame gonna go after some of those Marines. More Marines getting destroyed there. It looks like a Hellion does get this shot down. 1 more Hellion may get shot down there, and a fresh Hellion comes in, and now just trying to focus down the rest of these Marines. So trying to micro these units back and forth. Very, very small engagements here, as now you're going to see another Marine get destroyed, and now the Hellions will be able to back off. Those Hellions did deal a little bit of damage, but we'll see what's going to be happening as they now return home. We are going to have a couple of 2 Marauders, 1 siege tank, and a couple Marines over here, and now calling in a lot of mules. SC getting in 6 mules into play, and his harvester income is just going to simply jump through the roof. Siege tank not yet with siege tech. We are now going into double refineries as well, and this version of Tal'Darim altar, I believe, is the GSL version of Tal'Darim altar. That's why there are no destructible rocks here, and only 1 Vespene geyser with 5 mineral patches here. We're going to see now a supply depot being built off over here, making sure that Reapers are not going to be able to jump up and down. Siege tanks are once again in position here. Perhaps they will siege up and now protect that front door as Hellions look to deal even more damage. And this game is now going to be very, very long. We are sitting at the 11-minute mark, 78 food versus 74 food. Both sides need to get more supply depots up and running, otherwise they will be supply blocked for a little while longer. All those mules now getting destroyed as the timer has been completed on all of them, and now these Hellions, perhaps they should be up higher on that high ground next to that Zelnaga tower in order to actually activate it. Not quite sure about that, as now we are going to have Marine, and a Hellion drop, and that Hellion may deal a little bit of damage. No, the Marauders and the Marines quickly able to respond. Another SCV was destroyed, but really not that many workers destroyed at all, as we are now going to see, I believe, a scouting SCV getting destroyed there. So Rain looking to perhaps deal damage with these siege tanks now. We are getting even more Hellions here on the front, and also getting in some medevacs as well. So that 1 medevac in the air, siege tanks right behind it. And Marines, Marauders, and siege tanks over here, and another Marine just gathering up together. What is going to be happening? This is going to be the key question, as siege tanks now sieging up, and now this is going to be a bit of an engagement here. There is 1 point defense, 2 point defense drones shutting down the Marauders. That is absolutely huge. This Banshee needs to perhaps be engaging against the Marauders here to perhaps finish off this fight, and perhaps going to be able to deal a lot of damage to the rest of these units here. And now quickly picking up, and no, the point defense drones shutting down the Viking damage just a little bit. It needs to back off though. Is it going to be enough? It looks like that 1 Marauder may get taken down. It does get taken down. This Banshee does have 10 kills, but does get destroyed in the process. There are still 2-point defense drones in the air. There is still this one Raven here. The Raven is at 10 hit points. That is a very expensive unit to lose. Rain going to lose it just... Oh, no. He's not going to lose it. Backing off with it just in time, but I do believe that the Viking does move slightly faster. Is it going to be able to catch up to that Raven is the key question. It looks like siege tanks are now coming back in over here as well. That Viking, however, will not catch up to it, as now we are going to see a command center being transferred here to the 11 o'clock expansion location. A very natural location. Meanwhile, we do not see an expansion coming in from SC yet, so SC may be a bit behind this Viking, looking for perhaps that one Raven. That Raven desperately in need of repairs. A very expensive unit. Should be repaired. I'm not quite sure what these SCVs are doing besides just mining away. We can now see this one barracks taking in a lot of damage. SCV now being transferred over as well. A Viking engaging against another Viking. It looks as though it both will just simply get destroyed. Yep, both get destroyed. One round of Lancer torpedoes were sent off right before that, as Rain now still sitting on this very low hit point Raven, as now both sides are going to once again try to engage. This command center has been landed down over here by SC, so SC did have that command center built and now transferring some SCVs over. So, but the problem is that SC is not going to have that many mineral patches, but a very large army he has in the center now, and he has the dominant force right now with all of these siege tanks a little bit more grouped up together. Siege tanks, however, going to draw a line in the sand, destroying a lot of those units, and now Vikings are going to try to engage and shut down that one medevac, a very low hit point medevac indeed, as more units are coming back over here still. Keeping track of that Raven, seeing what will happen to it. That Raven does have a lot of energy now, already back up to 117, as we now see the units on the move. These Marauders and Marines are keeping track of this army here. They're going to try to regroup themselves. You can see a very large engagement, a really large exchange. Here's the Hellions may be able to get some damage and focus down the rest of the Marines. The Marines getting completely torched. The Marauders not even bothering to stay close by to protect them. And Rain finishing off those Marines now. So now the Vikings have a little bit more durability as well, as they do not have to worry about the Marines on the low ground. Another command center now being built by Rain here at the minor expansion at the what I'll call the 1 o'clock location. And SC is, even though he has a larger army, it feels like he's in a bit of trouble. Overall map presence, he is a bit weaker, as the high mobility of Rain. You can see Rain has much more revealed on the map. SC, not quite so much. He does have this one Zelnaga tower, though, which is definitely going to help him. And also a center tower almost nearing completion. Not quite sure where it was being built before it was destroyed. And a backdoor supply depot also being built as well. The Marauders and the Marines are going to quickly shut down this depot, and now they know where exactly this army is going to be on the move. And SC perhaps looking for an expansion here, trying to find it, knows that nothing is there, and now the siege tanks are going to be forced to roll back, draw a line in the sand, and fight their ways through once more. And still keeping track of that one Raven, still sitting there at 10 hit points, as we can see both sides with very destructive forces. Now, this is the point in the game where both sides has enough power to absolutely destroy the other person's base, and a lot of destruction can ensue. We can see that the upgrades, no one getting any upgrades just quite yet. 1-1 upgrades on the Marauders, nothing on the siege. 1-0 upgrades on the siege tanks. So the siege tanks will be able to get a little bit more damage. There is also a barracks flying off over here, keeping track of this one set of this path. That was very important, very nice there. As you can see that there's one Hellion up on that high ground. That Hellion going to get destroyed, and now mass Hellions coming back over, finishing off that Marauder there, and that does get taken down. And now Medevacs in a bit of trouble there. They may get shot down. One more round. Oh nope, the Marines able to come back over, stim and act as a little bit of defense there, as the Marines continue to shoo off this. It looks like SC, he does expect that there is an expansion off over here. There is a planetary fortress, however, so if those Marines try to stim in and try to engage, and there you go, we also have an engagement over here. So Blue Flame Hellions coming in from Rain, and wow, a lot of damage has been dealt. A lot of workers killed, 31 workers killed, total 68 versus 37 SCVs. Marauders gonna be able to shut down this planetary fortress. Siege tanks were able to destroy it as well. But now, in come the rest of these units. You can see that this is going to be a bit of a problem here. The Vikings on that high ground, perhaps going to shut down those medevacs. 1 medevac down, 2 medevacs down. Wow, all those medevacs getting destroyed with no Marine presence nearby. That means that these Marauders are going to be much more difficult to keep alive. But in comes another counter push over here. And just, it's a battle of where you want to look on the mini-map, as both sides are engaging against each other. The Marauders and the Marauders and the Siege Tanks now looking to put pressure over here. There is a Planetary Fortress over here as well. And it looks like they are going to start battling it out. The Siege Tank is within siege range. We'll start to destroy this. And it looks like the Planetary Fortress taking in a lot of damage. Will it be enough? The SCVs try to repair it, and no. So SC able to keep his hopes alive so far. All of these SCVs are getting destroyed now. It looks like these siege tanks are going to get stopped. Marauders now fighting against the rest of these tanks here, and both sides exchanging bases. But I really think that SC came out ahead in this battle so far. There's a Thor as well, but a Thor quickly going to get shut down there. A Hellion coming in to engage. SCV is now trying to surround, take down all of these units. That one Raven still in that position. A planetary or a point defense drone may have been able to cause or save enough damage, as we can now see a very large army coming in from Rain. Rain now rolling out with a much larger army in terms of gas and in terms of minerals, but expansion-wise, SC definitely has the advantage. Marines and Marauders are simply going to try to force their way up this ramp. A Viking does get destroyed. Marines are now going to finish off the rest of these units here, but up on the low ground, down on the low ground, rather, Rain does have a couple siege tanks, and it looks like he's going to be pushing out once more. Rain reestablishing his 3rd base, but the problem is that now SC has his 4th base essentially up and running. Not very many mineral patches left over here, but still enough to return some income, as we now see a 2,000 mineral difference, or 2,000 versus 1,000 mineral difference. More mules could be called in, more SCVs now being transferred, as siege tanks on the low ground start blasting at this orbital command. So these SCVs are going to be even more important in trying to establish this expansion on the far side. Another planetary fortress is being upgraded here. Siege tanks drawing a line here. Rain does have the stronger army, but it doesn't really feel like he's going to have the ability to shut down any of these or make a move. One of the problems with the siege tanks are that they are very slow to set up. Siege tanks, because they are so much slower to set up, mean that in transit they can get destroyed. And really, these Marauders, with the level 1 weapons upgrade and also the ability to stim and move essentially 50% faster than those siege tanks, can catch these tanks out of position. That is the reason why, even though Rain has the larger army, he doesn't want to engage, because he knows that if he's not careful and gets caught out of position unsieged, he will just get destroyed, even though he has 18 siege tanks. 18 siege tanks on this side of the map. Overall, 22 siege tanks. Still, finally that that Raven finally being used. It looks like that point defense drone was dropped in time in order to save up a little bit of damage and prevent any sort of attacks. We can see Marauders and Marines now pushing off over here. There is that point defense drone. The point defense drone, however, not going to be covering these tanks. Point defense drones, I don't think the armor plating actually helps them all too much, as the siege tanks are now once again trying to get in position. And this may be a problem. The siege tanks will be able to siege up here, and now trying to blast away. There are more siege tanks up on the high ground, and all of these Marauders and the Marines were very much clumped together. We can see another group of Marauders and Marines pushing in from the far side. Fanatic Reigns, one planetary fortress here, may get destroyed once again. And now you are starting to see that shift that I was talking about. Even though Rain had the stronger army, he wasn't able to attack, and now SC has been able to battle his way through. And now this planetary fortress may get taken down. Planetary fortress already taking a lot of damage so far. It looks like it will get taken down with not much help, or just very quickly, as SCVs now realize that they cannot be transferred over, and essentially Rain is down to 1 base. He only has 8 mineral patches to mine from, so that is almost just 1 base. Hellions now getting up onto the high ground in addition to a tank. We are going to get some Marauders dropped in here as well. So 1, 2, 3 siege tanks are going to be sieged, and now the Marauders are going to be able to land down and finish off all of these siege tanks here. This is going to be a bit of a problem. All the siege tanks are getting destroyed, now trying to split it up. Down this high ground advantage goes. So, really, Rain now really much falling behind. You can see 7,100 versus 3,250. The high mobility of these Marauders and these Marines, even though they're only upgraded 1-1 at the 28-minute mark of this game, have still been able to use that high mobility and then just shut down everything. These tanks, you can see them trying to arrive to the party, getting to the party a little bit late. Hellions now coming back over. It looks like a medevac, and these siege tanks are going to be able to stick around just a little bit longer. That Raven still with a lot of energy, and now siege tanks here, and it looks like SC is going to just be doing Marine Marauder drops straight onto all of these siege tank lines and destroying a lot of the siege tanks here, and now doing a drop up onto the high ground. Marines trying to finish off the rest of these Hellions and siege tanks, doing some very, very nice trades by SC. And now it looks like these, the Thor is going to be able to finish off perhaps this one medevac there. You can now see a very large army movement coming in from SC. SC has a dominant, destructive power now. And I believe this planetary fortress doesn't stand much of a chance. There are some siege tanks. The point defense drones from that Raven should be able to absorb a lot of damage, but now in come the units. Is it going to be enough? The siege tanks are going to siege up. One planetary fortress is destroyed. One planetary fortress destroyed. SCV is trying to repair it, unable to. The building command center now being destroyed as well. As those SCVs are trying to run away, it looks like they will be able to barely escape those point defense drones out of energy already. Now Rain essentially down to no base right now. His economy is nil after this walk of shame on all of these SCVs trying to transfer these SCVs over to that command center. Perhaps this orbital command can be lifted off and landed off over here. You can see the army, both sides still very, very strong, but the income definitely in favor of SC. SC wanting to make his mark, perhaps force game 3. I believe game 1 was by Rain. After so long of a battle, this one Raven has saved up a lot of units, and now in come the Marauders. No more point defense drones. Siege tanks, both sides battling now. Oh, a medevac with a full group of Marauders gonna get destroyed as well. The siege tanks, however, destroying all of those other units' army compositions. These Vikings do not want to land. I believe the Raven could just start dropping auto turrets and dealing a lot of damage as well. Rain, but now in comes another large group over here trying to upgrade to a planetary fortress. Siege tanks, SCVs. SCVs desperately trying to repair, but it doesn't look like much will happen. It is now lifted off into the air. Both sides going to engage. Are those SCVs now just continue to attack and turn around, try to pull back? It looks like a lot of damage could be had. Siege tanks now are sieging up. Siege tanks even arriving to the party, and a very, very nice pick up by SC, and perhaps to get a drop back onto the high ground. And SC still dealing a lot of damage. We are going to have the Vikings now make their way over, doing that running drop carry, and now 5 Marauders inside the base trying to focus down this Thor as well. Siege tanks once again in transit. SC now going for the chokehold. And looks like Rain will be forced to say GG in just a moment. You can see now Rain with 9 siege tanks against 5 siege tanks. Marauders and Marines are simply stimming in. And there is the GG by Rain. So there will be a game 3 in what I now know to be a best of 3 series. So really well played by Rain. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 2 of this series.